you did take on the league, and I've learned a lot about alternative medicines that aren't synthetic that can benefit people who have pain issues. Like me, I have chronic back pain and what have you. Is there anything that you can say, Mike, without divulging too much or what's not necessary as to what you know about, and even if it has to do with your fight against the league that could benefit a lot of people the
Yeah,
way it benefited me, bro? Because I'm gonna tell you, talking about saving life. I mean, I woke up days that people didn't even know I couldn't even move. Uh, and
nah, bro, I understand that. Yeah, man. I mean, I would say, to sum it up, I'm an ambassador for holistic medicine. You know what I'm saying? My first kind of stint with it was like I used to drink in college and when I got to the league, but like I ain't smoke weed. I ain't use cannabis, I should say. Until my rookie year in the NFL, and that was after I broke my ankle and I got a dependent and I started to have a dependence on opiates. So that's what kind of pushed me into it. So I always, you know, looked at plant medicine. From that point on, I got more into different plant medicines and things like that. Um, I always looked at it from a medicinal standpoint, and I was always doing it from a place that I'll be able to find help and relief. So I can live my life after football in a manageable way. Even with all of my ailments. So I got into a lot of different things where it was cannabis or different holistic medicines, homeopathic medicines, acupuncture, Chinese herb. There's so many different ways to find relief in natural ways because even when you look at these commercials, man, they I always laugh when they say they trying to help with, let's say somebody has a skin problem. They're trying to help with somebody's skin problem, and there's 40 different side effects that come with the skin medicine. You know what I'm saying? And plant medicines just they don't have the same reactions. They don't have side effects. Like I'll be listening to a commercial and they'll say, this causes lightheadedness, heartburn, swollen feet.
don't forget
It,
death. Don't forget death. I said
yeah,
that will get rid of the problem, huh?
yeah. I'm like, man, they'll be like, now you got insomnia and you got blood clots because you're trying to get rid of a headache. You know what I'm saying? So, that's how I kind of got into this from my own perspective and growing up how I grew up, just growing up in a place where there were drugs. So, you seen the effects on not only my family, but those around me. And I knew how easy it was to go down that path, especially being highly compensated in your job. It makes it a lot more difficult to get out of those situations. So I know I had to make a pivot, make a change, and I got into more holistic and plant based medicine. And I made recommendations to G because I know I lobbied at some point too. So when I was in DC lobbying, I used to speak to a lot of veterans because they were on Capitol Hill doing the same thing I was doing, trying to give better options to their peers. So when I talking to G about his stuff, then he got a chance to come to an event that we were doing, and one of the people there were also a veteran. So he spoke. They got to speak candidly about things that they've been through, and I think it's a real help for those. I mean, not just only veterans and athletes, but just anybody that's dealing with pain. I don't think you're supposed to live in pain. I just don't. I don't know what became the mindset that all right, I'm just gonna deal with my back hurting. I'm just gonna deal with my legs hurting. I'm gonna deal with my shoulder being in pain. It's like you ain't supposed to
Soldiers,
live like that.
soldiers. We're soldiers like y'all are athletes. We at least the older ones like myself, not to cut you off, Mike. We just
No,
were
you're
taught
good.
to deal with the pain,
Mm-hmm.
and
I understand.
you know, and you know, and there's a reason why. In those who can't see my armband, the 22 soldiers a day may be committing suicide, and I didn't think about it until you gave me the honor of meeting some of the people within that circle. And I spoke to the veteran, and he was talking to me about things, and I was like, "Wow, this is pretty interesting." And what frustrated me was why haven't not just the VA, even the state VA said we got to find alternative means if these synthetic drugs or synthetic methods are causing future problems for veterans, what have you. I see you showing Josh. Yeah, because veterans will go to alcohol and other things as a way
Absolutely.
of self-medicating, and it probably helps to accelerate the unfortunate taking of a life because there's other things that we live with beyond just the physical pain of having been in the military, what have you. there's psychological pain, especially for guys coming back from theater, who've been involved in combat,
Yeah.
forever. And that took my uncle took his life, um, and he was on all kinds of prescription medications and what have you. So I've always had a reason for me staying away from it, but also my affinity for veterans, as everybody should know, it is, elevated to another place. But go ahead and continue, Michael, with this, because I know you all have pain. You have to have pain to get on that field 16,
Yeah.
17, or
I
20
mean,
times,
and
not
to
to
that
mention
point,
practice.
G, that's what no, to that point, that's what helped me get into being an ambassador for plant medicine, is simply because like you say, as I once I, as I began to remove myself from the game, or life or my injuries removed me from the game, I just was like, there's no way in, like, I felt myself as a considerably intelligent person, or somebody who has been, has secondary education, and I can think critically. And I'm like, if I'm going through this and I got resources, I got my family that love me, I got this, I got this. Like, what are the guys? There's so many people, not even athletes. I was thinking veterans and so on and so forth. I'm talking about people that workplace every day.